You've probably heard the term options trading, right? And it sounds super complex, maybe even a little scary. But what if I told you that we could break down the entire concept with just a simple story about a bet between two people? Today, we're going to do just that. We'll unpack what options are, how they work, and why they are such a powerful and risky tool. So let's get right into it, starting with the one question that options were invented to solve.
So, it really all boils down to this one question. How can you make a bet on where a stock's price is headed, whether it's up or down, without having to spend all that money to buy the actual shares? It seems like a puzzle, but this is the exact problem options were designed to fix.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to start at the very beginning with the idea of a simple bet, a financial agreement based on a prediction of what's going to happen in the future.
And that's really all an option is at its heart. It's a contract. Think of it like a formal agreement that lets two people speculate on where an asset's price is going. And the real kicker here is you don't actually need to own the thing, whether it's a stock or gold or whatever, to have a stake in its price movement. Okay, every good story needs some characters, right? And for this one, we've got two classics from the financial world, a bull and a bear. Let's see what they're arguing about.
All right, so this is where our story's conflict comes in. We've got our bull, who was super optimistic about a stock, let's say it's Tesla. He's convinced it's going to shoot up over the next 3 months. And then you've got our bear, who thinks the exact opposite. He's like, no way, that stock is not going up. And of course, they both want to put their money where their mouth is.
So how do they make this bet official? I mean, they're not just going to shake hands on it. They draw up a formal contract. And this contract gives one of them a very, very specific right.
What our bull decides to buy is something called a call option. And this is the absolute core idea, so listen closely. A call option gives the buyer the right, and this is so important, but not the obligation, to buy an asset at a price they lock in today, sometime in the future. The bull is basically buying himself a choice.
Okay, so let's look at the fine print of their deal. The asset, obviously, is Tesla stock. They agree on a purchase price right now, $165 a share. This is called the exercise price, or sometimes you'll hear strike price. And they set a deadline for this whole deal. It's all over in 3 months.
Now, a powerful right like this isn't free. To get this choice, our bull has to pay the bear a fee, and it's non-refundable. In the options world, we call this the premium. In our story, let's say it's $10. The bear gets to pocket that $10 right away, and he keeps it no matter what happens. It's his payment for taking on his side of the bet.
Okay, let's do the math. This is where it all clicks into place. Scenario 1. The bull was totally right. 3 months go by, and Tesla stock is now trading at $190. The bull uses his right, his contract, to buy the stock from the bear at that locked-in price of $165. He could then turn around and sell it on the market for $190, right? That's a $25 profit. But wait, we have to subtract the $10 he paid for the option, so his net profit is $15. Pretty good. Now what about scenario 2 where the bull was wrong? The stock is trading below 165. Would he be crazy enough to use his option to buy at 165? No way! It's a bad deal. So he just lets the contract expire. It becomes worthless. And what's his total loss? Just that $10 premium he paid up front. That's it.
This really highlights the difference in their positions, right? The option buyer, our bull, has all the power. He has the right to choose. He's in the driver's seat. But the option seller, our bear, he has an obligation. If the bull says, I'm exercising my option, the bear has to sell him those shares at that price, even if it means he loses a ton of money.
So, that's how you bet on a stock going up. But what if you're like our bear and you think a stock is about to take a nosedive? Well, there's an option for that too. It's basically the mirror image of what we just talked about.
It's called a put option. And like I said, it's the opposite of a call. A put gives the buyer the right, but again, not the obligation, to sell an asset at a locked-in price. So if you buy a put, you're hoping the stock price craters. That way you can buy it super cheap on the market and then use your option to sell it for that guaranteed higher price.
Okay, so our little story has given us the basics. Now, let's step away from the bull and the bear and talk about the real-world implications and why traders get so excited about these things. The big reason people get into options trading can be summed up in one powerful word: leverage. It's this idea that you can control a huge asset with a tiny amount of money. And this chart really shows you what that leverage looks like in action.
Let's say a stock goes up 20%. If you own the actual stock, you'd make a 20% return. That's awesome. No complaints there. But because your option premium was so small compared to the stock price, that same 20% jump in the stock could make your little option contract skyrocket by, say, 150%. It's like putting your potential gains on steroids.
But, and this is a huge but, leverage is a double-edged sword. You absolutely have to understand this. For the option buyer, your risk is capped. The absolute most you can ever lose is the premium you paid. End of story. Your potential reward, though, it's theoretically unlimited. The sky's the limit. Now for the seller, it is the complete, total opposite. Their reward is capped. They only ever get to keep that little premium. But their risk, if the stock moves hard against them, their potential loss can be massive. In theory, it's unlimited.
So you might be thinking, okay, this is cool, but do I have to go find some pessimistic bear to make a contract with? And the answer, thankfully, is no. In today's world, brokerage platforms and financial exchanges do all that matchmaking for you, instantly.
And actually making a trade is surprisingly straightforward. It's really 3 steps. 1, you pick the stock you're interested in. 2, you look at a list of available contracts and choose your exercise price and your expiration date. And 3, you click a button to either pay or receive the premium. The tech handles everything else. But, and this is important, just because the buttons are easy to press doesn't mean making money is easy. This quote here really nails it. You can't just randomly buy and sell options and hope to get rich. The people who succeed have a system. They have a strategy for figuring out why a price might move and when.
And a massive part of any good system is risk management. This number, 2%, shows you the kind of discipline we're talking about. A lot of professional traders will never, ever risk more than 2% of their entire trading account on a single idea. Why so little? Because they know that with leverage, things can go wrong fast, and protecting their capital is always job number 1.
So, let's wrap this all up. What are the key things you need to remember? First, start small. Don't go all in while you're learning. Second, have a system. Don't just gamble. Know why you're making a trade. Third, you have to master risk management. It's the most important skill. And finally, practice, practice, practice. There is just no substitute for experience. So there you have it. We've seen how a simple bet between a bull and a bear can explain the entire world of options, the mechanics, the leverage, and the risk. You now know the rules of the game. The real question, the one you have to answer for yourself is, what's your strategy going to be?